Very much, and good afternoon, honorable ministers, gentlemen of the press, ladies and gentlemen. At today's FEC, naturally, I did start off by thanking the chairman of the Federal Executive Council and, of course, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, GCFR, as well as all the other colleagues of mine at FEC and even all the other distinguished participants there for their wonderful support for me just a couple of weeks ago. I thank them for their encouragement, for their best wishes, and for their prayers. And I do the same to you here this afternoon. Thank you very much indeed for all the support and encouragement when I needed it. Today, at the Federal Executive Council, I just had two memos. One was to get the approval of FEC for a World Bank credit of $300 million for the internally displaced and host communities in various states in the north. And the second one was the approval of a credit from the Islamic Development Bank and the African Development Bank for a total of $52.23 million. $46 million and $50 million from the African Development Bank and the Islamic Development Bank, respectively, for the Sokoto Health Infrastructure Project. Sokoto Health Infrastructure Project. And of course, the Sokoto government was also going to be a counterpart financier of that all-important health project. So those were the memos that I presented. But I was called upon by His Excellency Mr. President to brief the FEC regarding the current situation of the economy, the progress to date, and the recent events. And I focused on the fact that as at the second quarter, the economy was well and truly turned around in terms of economic growth. The growth was accelerating. It was over 4.2%. As we know, inflation down to 18%. And so you had looked, and I traced the trajectory from correction of market distortions and putting in place market pricing in key areas, key metrics and key prices, as you all know, and that these have been followed by stabilization, the exchange rate, inflation coming down, reserves going up, and of course, the economy rebounding in terms of growth. And importantly, I pointed out that when we look at the critical spending that people do, health, transport, food, they are spending about 50% of their income compared to 90% before. So there is more affordability. The cost of living is inching downwards to that extent. Then I focused on the fact that just recently, in the last couple of weeks, Nigeria has exited the Financial Action Task Force gray list. So we have come from outside what is recognized as global best practice in fighting money laundering and fighting terrorism financing. We are now back in the mainstream. We are now pursuing transparent, well-recognized best practices in these important areas of financial management and transparency and so forth. And so that is a big step that boosts investors' confidence, allows them, there are some that when you're on the gray list, they cannot come near you. So it allows ease of transactions, more efficiency in transactions, lower cost of transactions, and of course, as I said, attraction of investment. And so that was quickly followed, as we all know, the political headwinds that we faced in recent days, not even just weeks, recent days. Nonetheless, Mr. President and indeed his entire team remained calm and resolute And in terms of our financial and economic plans, we went ahead, and the market, the financial markets focused on the fundamentals and, of the Nigerian economy, focused on the progress that's been made, and rewarded our request for just over $2 billion in the Eurobond market with a resounding vote of confidence and a total request for $13 billion. Of course, we are prudent in our borrowing. We did not go above what was approved. We didn't go above what was budgeted. We didn't go above what was planned. But it has put us in a good stead, and also it's an important reflection of investor confidence. So we saw that as a boost at a time when the reality is that Nigeria is becoming to be seen as a destination for investors, Nigerian investors, and indeed foreign investors. And in due course, some of the successes of Mr. President's economic diplomacy, particularly some of his bilateral engagements abroad, will come to be announced and will come to be seen and recognized, and the benefits will flow to the Nigerian economy. There's been tremendous success in terms of engaging with investors. The Minister for Aviation was just here. He's left because he has some investors, I think, from Europe and from the Middle East who are interested in the aviation sector. The world is interested in good investments, and Nigeria is now proving to be a stable and attractive destination and climate for such investors. So I think on that note, I would just also say that one of the briefings and one of the major breakthroughs in recent times is that the ability to reach Nigerians, to identify those that need help and provide them with it, has been very, very much strengthened by the fact that the Nigerian Identity Management Commission, NIMC, has 125 million Nigerians that it has given NINs to. So it provides Mr. President with that extra flexibility and ability to reach Nigerians and identify them uniquely, biometrically, and as required, as budgeted, or as provided for at any given time. They can be reached with resources, they can be funded, they can be provided with payments that help them with their cost of living. So these are some of the major structures and major institutional strengthening that has occurred. A year or so ago, we were looking at India, that they have that capacity to reach people and help them directly with funds, as well as with other resources. Now Nigeria is in that same position. We have a digital ID for Nigerians that totals 125 million out of the population. There are some countries, of course, they're smaller, they don't have anything near there. Even some of the most advanced countries do not, at this time, have that kind of ability to reach their people. Thank you.